Welcome to Kahanis Golden Bytes. Please take a moment to go through this, stop, pause, and I'll carry on. Now, let me also address something that some of y'all may be thinking. Did your parents or my parents require or need this amount? They may have earned this amount, may have earned more, but they didn't need so much. You see, a number of us, the amount that we earn today, if we were to compare it to how much our parents or grandparents earned, it's substantially more and hugely more compared to two generations back. Okay, so the previous generation did not need it, but the future generations, because of inflation, because of the salary increase, because of the economic growth, the amount is just completely different. Just completely different. And a lot of y'all, a good number of y'all are going to be earning much, much more than this. Now, some of y'all may have crossed the age of 20 already and wondering, oh, I didn't start early. Have I missed the boat? Let's try and see if we can do something about it. Okay, so this is the amount that should have been with y'all 55256 by the age of 25. Some of y'all may be at 24, 25 and wondering, how can I still do it? Some of y'all may be between the age bracket of 25 to 30 and wondering, oh, I'm starting late. If I had this information, I could have easily have saved this. What can I do now? So this 5,52,563, you're not yet 30, but you're wondering, if you collect this, is it okay? 30 to 35, the next target is already ready. So can you do something about it? Absolutely, absolutely. So let's take the 20 to 25. If you were 24 or 25 and you didn't collect when you were 20, 21, 22, 23, but when you reach 25, you manage to collect 55,256. You know what? You're back in the game. Because when you're starting 25, you've already got this amount. Yes, though if you had started in time, you would have had to put 50,000. The bank would have, or the other investment would have got you 5,256 as compounding interest here. You have to now put that from your earnings and put that amount here. But by the end of 25, if you have 55,256, you're back in the game. You've not lost a single day. Similarly, by the age of 30, if you have this amount with you, 552,563, you're back in the game. Back in the game. Okay? So which means whether you save it out of your bonus, you go tight on your marriage expense. Now, I'm not trying to stop you all from having a fun wedding, okay? Please don't get me wrong. But earn a salary, you get a bigger break, you get a job promotion, whatever it is. These are targets that could help you achieve it. Now, I need to make one small technical input here. When you're 30, it's just not 5.52563 that you need to have, because the assumption is that you started late here. So which means 20 to 25, you haven't got the 55256 either. So you need to take this 55256 plus compounded at 5% for the year that you start till the age of 30, and you got to add this amount. So that is a corpus, that is a total, that is the amount that you need to start with if you've started late. Okay? And it's possible. You see, as you can see, it's very much possible. So what does this mean? You're back and you can still earn the same amount, provided you plan and go according to plan. Now the question, is 1,55,832 enough? We're talking about reaching the age of 60 and then comparing, right? Inflation. Now let's try and understand this chart a little bit. The assumption is You start at the age of 20, your per month expense is 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000. I put a question mark here because you could be in different categories. Now, if you were to have an expense of 10,000 at the age of 20, and if there's inflation that's calculated at 8% per annum, by the age of 60, that 10,000 will be equal to 2,17,254. That's 8% inflation. Now, if it's at 6% inflation at the age of till the age of 60 every year, then the 10,000 would equal to an expense of per month. Okay, this is per month, 1,02,857. And if there was a 4% inflation by the time you reach 60 over the 40-year period, it would mean 10,000 would equal 48,010. And likewise for 20,000, the 8% inflation is this amount, 4,34,490, 6%. So as you can see, where you have the green circles, it is where either the expenses are met, which means 1,55,832 is enough because it's less. Here 1,02,857 is less than this amount. That's if your expenses is kept at 10,000. Okay, and I'll speak a little bit more about it. It means it can be met and you'll have a saving. Or in the other cases where it's not green, expenses are not met. So you'll have to decrease or make adjustments to your standard of living, or you'll have to save more. So if you have a 50,000 current expense and you're a 20-year-old, you'll substantially need to increase your savings much more than the 3.74 crores so that you can earn interest, which will be equal to these amounts on a monthly basis if the inflation amounts are 8, 6 and 4%. Now, the criteria is everything is status quo. So if it's at 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, which means you're single or you're married, you keep that. Your standard of living remains the same. Otherwise, you will not be able to meet the expense. So for example, if you're single and you have a 10,000 rupee expense, but you get married, etc., and obviously it won't stay at that level, it goes up, then it is not an apples to apples comparison. Then this comparison is not right. Okay. If you have a bike, car, whatever kind of situation changes, any monthly expense changes. Now let's take if you're 25 years old and your monthly expenses is 10, 20, 50,000, 1 lakh. Again, the greens you can meet and otherwise you cannot. Okay, so add 3.74 crores. Add 3 points. So you can meet in some cases you can, in some cases you cannot. Once again, what if you're a 30-year-old and you have a monthly expense of 10,000? Then, if you have a monthly expense of 10,000, you're a 30-year-old, even with an 8% inflation at the age of 60, it's going to be equal to 10,000 is going to be equal to 1,627, but you're earning on the corpus, on the amount that you earned, that you've kept, you're earning at 5% interest, 1,55,832. So that's more than this. So you have money to spare. You could travel around, enjoy yourself, give it around, distribute, do what you want. So once again, you'll have to take a look at your expenses and your savings plan that I've mentioned in other clips, like savings, etc. And you'll have to make adjustments as you go along. Status, whether you're married, family, all those things are going to play a role in your current expenses as well as projecting. Okay, but if everything was the same, the green circles is what you can meet at different levels of inflation. Now the options are, if you don't meet it, well, the family may chip in. You may have a child that chips in, you may have a spouse that chips in, or you'll have to do with lesser. You'll have to tighten your belt. You'll have to live a little more frugal, a little more tighter when you're 60 and beyond, because we're living longer and longer. Okay, so those who cannot achieve this, you'll have to live with a tighter budget. Now, yearly amount. A lot of y'all may have come to the conclusion, you know what, I can save this amount just because the way I've put it. Just the way I've put it. And you know what, like I've mentioned before, and I truly, truly believe that a lot of y'all, a good number of y'all, majority of y'all are going to earn much, much more. And a lot of y'all may be saying, oh, yes, this seems achievable. I'm going to do it. Excellent for you. Excellent. And for those who cannot, worried, I tell you not to be worried. Just don't worry. Just don't worry. And I'll tell you why. A previous generation, your parents, your grandparents did not need this kind of amount. In the 2000 to 2010, when the economic boom was happening, a lot of people were joining at salaries at which they were taking new jobs. They were joining at salaries where their parents, when they retired, were not earning that much. Today it's slightly different, but that's the big difference in the money value, in inflation, in incomes, economic growth. So don't think, the previous generations did need it. It's my guess, this generation will need it for the next, depending on which bracket you are, you'll have a different need. And depending upon what kind of expenses you have, you'll have a different need. But it's very possible. It's very possible. India is going to grow tremendously over the next few decades. So it's very, very possible. Like I mentioned, most of y'all are going to earn substantially more than this. There are going to be plenty of opportunities. New industries are going to come into play. India is going to open up. There's going to be a lot of things. I'm talking about, the next few decades. What am I trying to do here with this clip is make you aware. Because with awareness, like I've said, comes knowledge. And once there's knowledge, I hope you can plan and therefore you can act. If you don't have knowledge, the plan could therefore be missing. And if the plan is not there, the action could be quite different. But if you had knowledge, because of awareness, you can plan and act. So am I trying to ask you all to not have fun? Fun in life? Trying to take it out? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. None of us have the money as Warren Buffett has or Mukesh Ambani. And yet we've had so much of fun through our lives and we'll continue to have them. So I'm not trying to mix up fun with money. Okay? They're both separate. You can have fun even without money. But if you have money, lots of other issues can get addressed. So that's what I'm trying to do with these many clips on managing money. So just plan. It's a mindset. It's very simple. It's easily possible. And with that, thank you very much for staying with me. Here's to your crores, to your plenty and plenty of crores. Now begin to plan. Now begin to dream. And then begin to achieve. All the best. All the best.